Hello, guys. How are you today? Me, I'm great. It's a new BPS day. Uh, it's always makes me happy to get a new BPS knife. These I got these probably about 2 weeks ago, but we went on vacation to Deerhurst, and I wanted to sort of take a little time to think about them before I did a little unboxing kind of mini review. I originally purchased these because I had a client who asked me to make him a custom Kiridashi style knife, and I was gonna contact a local maker to make me a blank or a couple blanks because I wanted to make a few others to 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 make for him. But then I hadn't looked at BPS's website in a while, and I decided I just happened to peruse it, and they had this new blade on there. A little disappointed that I didn't get it sooner. I don't know how long it's been out, but this is right up my alley. As somebody who makes their own handles, this comes saw handle and is very reasonably priced. I think they're priced at 19 US, so probably about 20, 28 Canadian. I always order two, especially when I'm talking a new BPS knife, just to see how they do with the design and how their quality control is, to see if to compare one to the other. Often, usually, especially their newer blades, I find if one has an issue, the next one will have the same issue. So it's nice to be able to compare. Both my Savage and my HK4 had issues, and they were almost identical between the two. But if you're thinking about ordering this one, I'll let you know that they did these perfect. So I'll kind of give you a shot down the back. There is just a little bit of a curve to it this way, but yeah, nothing that would affect the blade because the curve is actually slightly in the handle here. And by the time I peen handles on here, I'm sure I can straighten that little bit of curve out, but the actual cutting edge itself is straight as an arrow and amazingly flat. This is the only kind of flat reference I have right here, but let's do it on the other side where the light's coming from. See if I can get better lighting. You can see it's right up against that. Just the tip. There's just a little bit at the tip that seems to go up. And for a Kiridashi blade, it's very important to have a very straight edge along there because they're used for scribing and woodwork and stuff like that, marking knives. This one, unlike the ones that I was looking at online, is a double bevel, so I'm not sure if that would be ideal for woodworking because usually they're single bevel, so like you can put right up against your marking ruler or whatever, and then you can draw a line. You can easily get right in there with the tip, but usually they're a single bevel, right or left-handed, so you can get right up to the marking piece itself. Overall, I am really in love with this knife. They did a bang up job, especially for like 20 US dollars. Comes with a little neck carry sheath, and I really do like the design of this sheath because it's leather and it has quite a bit of space up in the top. So when I do make the knife for the client, he wants a handle on his, and apparently he wants me to incorporate his father's ashes in resin. His father had a really nice this knife like this, and he wanted me to make a custom one and do a layer in the wood with his father's ashes in it, I guess, to kind of have a nice memory. It's sweet. I've been experimenting with epoxy resin and ash to sort of test out what kind of colors I can get out of it and see if it will compromise the strength of the epoxy. I'm thinking I'm gonna try and put like a layer of something else in between it, maybe even a little micarta with the ash incorporated to kind of really strengthen everything. I find even the nice epoxies, like, they will, if they're 100% pure, they will have like a little bit of give to them. Like, even if you mix them right, let them cure for a couple weeks, they will, like, if I really dig my fingernail in there, I find the epoxy resins you can push in. So I like to incorporate other things in to strengthen them, similar to like a fiberglass or something. Anyways, back to the knife. This is carbon steel. They're 1066. I'll see if I can focus on that. I don't know if my phone's gonna let me focus that close. Come on. Let's try that part. Sorry, this tap to focus does not work very well. Go closer. See if that works. There you go. It has their stamped logo, made in Ukraine, 1066 high carbon steel. It only comes in the high carbon. This one does not come in stainless like a bunch of their models. What I really like about this knife is the overall size for a marking kiridashi knife. Usually they are smaller than this. Blade length isn't a huge deal for a marking knife. And this one, even though it only has a metal handle right now, it fits very well in the hand. Like, I got a pretty big mitt here, and it's secure in there. I can't wait to get a proper handle on here to see just how much it'll fill out the hand and how much more comfortable it'll get. I think I'm gonna have like a little recess in here, and it's gonna get fatter towards the bottom and thinner towards the top to give you the pinch grip if you need to, because I'm guessing these would be very good like game cleaning knives. Maybe not for like skinning, but for being able to really get in areas. This is a very, very pointy tip, allowing for some pretty precise work. Would be an excellent substitute for an X-Acto knife. The sharpening on this is phenomenal. They did a crazy good job with the finishing work on this, which is great because the last two couple of BPS knives I had a little bit of finishing issues or overall quality issues, but these have been awesome. I got two of them. This is how it came, ordered directly from BPS website, and it took quite a while to get to me. I did an order over Christmas, so I mean that's gonna be slow anywhere, but add a Ukrainian war to that, and it's gonna be very slow, even slower. But this is what it came. It came two. This was wrapped in saran wrap to this, and then all these came in like this round tube, almost like a paper towel tube, and then stuck with a sticker. As far as packaging goes, these weren't nearly nicely packaged as the other BPS knives. They're standard ones, but yeah, let's pull out this one too to sort of contrast and compare. But I really like the way they kept all of the scaling from the heat treat. And I was a little worried that because this is high carbon or carbon steel, that without a handle, that spot, like the parts where your hands touch, were gonna oxidize and rust. But I'm guessing because the scaling is left on here, it's like a pre-patina. It really prevents the corrosion. I'm sure if we like dip this in salt water, it would corrode. But just for casual use, grabbing a hold of this, it has been no problem with corrosion on the handle itself. But if you're really worried about that, tape off the blade, tape off the bottom of the blade, and let me just refocus here. Sorry if we've been out of focus for a while, I apologize. Yes, so you tape this off and then give it a little spray with a little single coat of polyurethane or some sort of oil to prevent the oily bits of your hands, all the goo that comes off of our hands, from staining the blade. One thing that I didn't really expect show. So like a little vegetable razor or a little meat cutter. Speaking of meat cutter, let's just see. Let's see what I got here. I brought some stuff to cut just so I have actual cutting in the video. And we'll see how he does. So we got some wonderful salami here. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, obviously it's a Scandi grind, so it's not going to be quite as easy as a full flat for cutting food, but given the sharpness of these blades and the clearance you have, it makes for a decent cutter. It's not an overly thick blade stock. And if you know how to use a knife properly, cutting with a Scandi knife is not an issue. Pause video for munching. I don't feel like it. You should hear me. Well, just give me a second. That is some tasty meat. The European meat place by our houses. I think this is like jalapeno and red pepper. Delicious. Put that to the side. So yeah, very surprising with how well it cuts, especially for a moderately thick Scandi grind. It does, like, especially for thicker items like this, it will plow through and break off. But if you can use a tip and get some really, center this a bit better, you can get some really effective cutting out of this. Nice little thin apple slices. Carbon steel, so let me just grab my, I did bring a little, I don't want to stain this up right away. Give that a little love. But I do enjoy the patina that this 1066 gives after quite a while. I have a Savage that lives in my kitchen, and it's like bluey, yellowy. The patina that has come out from cutting all the onions and garlic and stuff, meats, has been very nice. Alright, so I'll give you a little bit of specs here. We're dealing with a 2 3/4, yeah, 2 3/4 inch blade. More than enough for a little marking kiridashi. Overall length from tip to tail, 7 3/4. As you can see, just by those measurements, you're going to get a lot of handle on this. You can do a paracord wrap. I had a paracord wrapped around here for a while, but I took it off for the video just to show you the kind of weight savings holes they drilled in here. It's super easy to wrap a paracord around here because of all the holes they give you to feed the cord through, and also perfect for adding scales to, because you don't have to drill any holes. Oh yeah, I don't know if you're one of the people who commented about my odds. I'm sorry, I say a lot. I do these videos off the cuff. If it annoys you, I apologize. I'm sure there are many other scripted videos that you can watch other people not stumble over their words, but I'm just doing this for fun, and I talk off the cuff, so uhs and pauses and things are gonna sound a little they're gonna be there. So if you don't like that, I apologize. But if it doesn't bother you and you like these kind of videos, then stick around, because I got another order of BPS knives coming in pretty soon. We got I think the Raven, the the kitchen one, or the trail chef, I think they called it, or something. It comes with a really nice leather sheath that is specific to that blade, and the friction folder, and those will be my first stainless steel BPS knives. I'm finally going to get to see what they can do with the oh so hated 5CR 15 steel that they use, which I find tends to get a bad rap. It is a little softer, but they apparently run it at 56 to 58, which is about the best you can get out of that. And I don't get the hate for it because it's very similar to that X50 CR that's used in like every single stainless steel German knife. It's so common of a steel, and it's used in some pretty high-end knives. So if done right, I'm sure it'll be a decent steel. I just have yet to try it, which a little disappointing because I'm such a big BPS fan, but maybe I'm a victim of the public perception of that 5CR because it's gotten to me. I think I may have one like multi-tool that has a 5CR blade in it, and it's not too bad, but it's a Chinese multi-tool. I'm sure BPS can do a whole lot better with that if they figured out the heat treatment properly. So keep an open eye for that. One other thing I wanted to sort of show. Let's get this out of the way. This is the BPS sharpening kit. Sorry, I'm just gonna. Ordered this probably about a year ago, and I threw it in my sharpening box, and I forgot about it. And I cleaned my sharpening box out, and I noticed that it was sitting in the bottom, and I have yet to show you guys, but this is the two-part one. It comes with a 240 grit and an 800 grit. I'm going to do a full review on this, but I figured I'd give you a heads up. I have a couple pieces of sandpaper here in, like, I think there's 3 going from 2,000 to 7,000 for polishing that I can just fold over these stones if I wanted to do a mirror polish in the field. I've used this probably about 3 or 4 times, and it's a decent little sharpening kit. It cuts good, and they're pretty hard stones. Like, I contacted BPS to try and get an idea of what these stones are made out of. They took like 2 weeks to get back to me, and then they just said they are synthetic stones. I honestly thought they were real, cut off like an Arkansas stone style, where it's like stone found in nature and then they just cut them. But they said they're synthetic, so maybe they're just like ordering sharpening blocks and like cutting them into smaller pieces and marking them. But they did a good job choosing these. I've sharpened 3 or 4 knives on them. Absolutely no deformation, no dishing out or anything. I was a little disappointed that they didn't give me more information about like using the stones in their email. I wanted to ask, like, do you soak them? What do you do? Do you oil them? They didn't tell me any of that. They just said they were synthetic. So the last few times I used it, I just threw a bit of water, like a splash and go, and then use them, and they raised a burr pretty quickly. I really do like the case they come in. Comes with a little strap of leather for honing, and I do believe they sell a 3-piece kit like this, or 4-piece, I should say. 3 stones, and one is a 120 for an extra coarse stone. But as far as I know, the 800 is the highest grit one. I still don't know if I like it more than my Work Sharp field sharpener, the thing with the diamond plates and the ceramic hone and the strop on the other side. I use that thing religiously. It lives in my kitchen just for when I grab a knife and notice it's a little out of tune and I don't feel like soaking my knife stones. So I just throw it on there and get a little usable edge on it. The only thing I don't like about that Worksharp field sharpener is how quickly the diamond plates wear in, or I guess you'd call it wearing in. They shed their diamonds real quickly. The the fine side was like it got pretty beat up pretty fast, and you can't easily get replacement. Like the replacement diamond pads cost almost as much as the whole other Worksharp. So it's just one of those, like, why would I buy it? Like, I could spend an extra $10 and just get a whole other one, and then just keep my slightly used one. It won't cut quite as fast, but it still sharpens. But Worksharp, make those diamond either make them better or make them easier to get and cheaper to get, because that's the one downside to that Worksharp field sharpener. Anyways, sorry, little tangent. I'll have a better video on this probably with me sharpening a knife on it. The Kiridashi, it's a great blade if you can handle very straight edge blades. If you're not one to be very good at sharpening, this could be a difficult one to sharpen. Because of the very straight edge is similar to like a razor, where you gotta be very careful about flattening your stones properly, be very careful about maintaining even pressure, because you don't want to bow this tip out very much and ruin it, because this tip is really the selling point of these knives, especially as a marking knife. The neck carry pouch is great. It carries vertically, like carry it up like this, wrap it around your neck. So you're gonna have to pull it up towards your neck to get it out. So they do give you a pretty long lanyard to give you the distance to do that. I don't know if I'm gonna add. I was thinking about adding a little spring retention clip, like a utility clip or whatever, and gluing it onto the back and having like a little nice pocket carry. Because I'm not necessarily a fan of neck carries, especially a carbon steel one like this, a bare carbon steel, because I would have to keep this under my shirt. These are some sharp edges on here. You got sharp edges everywhere on this thing. Nothing's broken. Like, I could take a file and file it down, make it all soft, but I'm still not sure if I'm going to put a handle on this. So, but yeah, if you're carrying it as is, this would be very uncomfortable to have underneath your shirt, as well as all your sweat's going to get all over that and pretty much oxidize that knife quickly. But other than, well, on the pro side, you could strike a ferro rod with any freaking part of this thing. Like, yeah, if you're a guy who likes 90-degree spines, you got a 90-degree knife. Every single edge on here is 90 degrees except for the cutting edge. BPS, you did a wonderful job. I cannot wait to check out the new knives that I got coming, and I will have a video of my updated knife collection pretty soon. It's gonna be hard to keep that under an hour because I have like 100 knives, but thanks for watching, guys. If you like what you see, give me a thumbs up and all that jazz. If you don't, feel free to leave a comment on ways I can improve myself, but please do not be harsh, because I am a sensitive man and I will cry. Just kidding. But yeah, constructive criticism is always better when it's said in a way that's not going to offend the person. So thanks. Have yourself a wonderful day, and check out the new BPS Kiridashi blade. Let's mess with this focus. Peace. Have a good one.